Good afternoon, Golden Eagles fans. We're here giving you your playoff preview for this 2012 season. I'm Brian Tosti. And the Golden Eagles go up against the Newark Pilots in what's seemed to be a good matchup for these two teams. They're both fairly decent offenses and have really just had some good pitching performances, but haven't been very consistent all season. You look at the Golden Eagles, they're coming into it with a 27-20 record, whereas the Newark Pilots are coming in with a 26-20 record. So it should really be so far from that, you can just predict that it's going to be a good series. Just they've been very even with each other throughout the entire season. Over the course of the season, the teams only played each other 4 times. They're the westmost and the eastmost teams in the PGCBL, Newark being the west and Golden Eagles being in the east. So far this season, early on, it was a 3-2 win for the Golden Eagles at home against the Newark Pilots. Then they had a 12-2 win, followed by a 5-4 win, and then took their first loss to the Pilots 4-6 back during that road trip in July, where they dropped 4 of the 5 games that they played during that road trip. As far as going into this series, you're expecting that it's going to be one of those offensive battles between these two teams, just based on the pure fact that their pitching has been decent, but they've been shaky at times. But they're going to be throwing their best guys. As for the Golden Eagles, you're looking for them to possibly throw Taylor Saucedo into the mix. He was the fan-voted pitcher of the year for the Golden Eagles, and you wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like Ryan Peterson or Corey Folk get the start in Game 2, so we'll have to see exactly what that all plays out, but look for at least two of those 3 guys to pitch during the playoff series. As for the Newark Pilots, you look for Derek Dallas and Daniel Thorpe. They've been the 2 solid pitchers on the mound for the Newark Pilots this entire season. They've had the most starts, and Thorpe just recently had been named one of the PGCBL Players of the Week, well, rather the Pitcher of the Week, back the most recent week, coming up right before the playoffs. And Danny Brennan shared that title with him. He is a Golden Eagles outfielder. So these two teams, you can tell that they've hit their stride late. They've hit their stride right at the best time for both of these teams. The big thing that you're going to have to look out for is how can the pitching match up against the offense. The Golden Eagles offense has been so high-powered this season. Currently, nobody's hitting under 240 average on the Golden Eagles roster. They've been fantastic. And as you look at it, both teams have some good offense. Newark has some great offensive numbers, especially in the average column. But the big thing and the key aspect that you're looking at is the RBI totals. I mean, you look at some of the big guys for the Golden Eagles coming up with some big RBIs in big situations. But it's not even just that, it's the pure numbers of it. Only 2 players on the Newark Pilots have over 27 RBIs on the season, whereas the Golden Eagles have 5 of them over 27 RBIs on the season, including Chase Griffin, Mike Vigliarolo, and so on and so forth. The list goes on and on. But they're those guys that are going to put those runs across the plate for the Golden Eagles, and they've done it all season. Look for that to continue into the playoffs. But Newark's going to have a tough time to match up against these Golden Eagles pitchers and try and get some solid run support for their own pitchers, especially early in games when the Golden Eagles have done it early in games, just exploding right out of the gate. It's going to be tough for this Newark team. We'll see exactly what they're going to be able to do here in the postseason. Another thing that jumps out to you, you're looking at the Golden Eagles. They're at the top of the league in some aspects of a couple league leading stats. 4 of the top 5 hit leaders for the Golden Eagles 4 of the top 5 leaders in the league in hits are all on the Golden Eagles roster. I mean, it's been a very, very productive season. The Golden Eagles have hit very, very consistently throughout the season with the bats of Mike Vigliarolo, Chase Griffin, Danny Brennan, guys like that. They've done it very well all season. And one guy that they're going to be really missing in the playoffs is Ross Kivett. He's been one of the solid leaders offensively for the Golden Eagles. He's been a solid leader in the locker room and in the dugout for the team. He's going to be missed for these playoffs, and recently he was just named the PGCBL batting champion of the season with the best average. He's been doing it he had been doing it just before his departure from the Golden Eagles, but he's going to be really missed by this Golden Eagles offense because he's not going to be able to help them jumpstart it. But lately they've been doing fairly well without him. I mean, you look at some of the stats for the Golden Eagles as of late. They won their last 4 going out of the season against the Outlaws, the Dutchmen, the Wizards, and the Outlaws once again. But if they make it past this first round, they're going to have to face the Amsterdam Mohawks. And most of the time throughout this season, they've had the Mohawks number. But you go ahead after that, towards the end of the season, they lost 2 against Amsterdam. Granted, they were an extra innings loss in a doubleheader, followed by another loss, both by a run. But it's going to be an interesting playoff series, first of all, between the Newark Pilots and the Golden Eagles going forward. But if the Golden Eagles can make it past that, Amsterdam plays Mohawk Valley, and Amsterdam's had Mohawk Valley's number all season long, and it's most likely looking like Amsterdam will take that one, and we might have a Golden Eagles Amsterdam look in the finals, and that will be one you don't want to miss. But first of all, tonight, 7 o'clock at Eastfield, also on teamline.com. Please take a listen or come out to the game at Eastfield, 7 o'clock, as the Golden Eagles host the Newark Pilots at Eastfield. Until then, I'm Brian Tosti.